A Black executive perspective now presents Need to Know with the award-winning hyphenated Dr. Nsenga Burton. Dr. Burton, what do we need to know?
Good morning and welcome to Need to Know with Dr. Nsenga Burton. I am she. Today I'm going to talk to you about the people who have, I don't know if it's fear of missing out, buyer's remorse. There are lots of terms that kind of can describe this behavior that's been very interesting. But these are people who voted for 47 and now are like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. So, I think they call us people who did not vote for 47 snowflakes. We're weak. We just, we think we know everything. We do everything about intellect, all that kind of stuff. And I just want to say that for those of us who read for comprehension and read Project 2025, in addition to paying attention to 47's first term when he was 45, clearly made the right decision, because so many of the people who have voted for 47 are now online talking about they've lost their jobs. They didn't know they were coming for my job. They've lost their partners. Their partners have now been deported. In some cases, it seems like it's illegal. The courts have ordered in many cases for people to be that the president could not use this wartime law to deport people without hearings and all of the things. And your president is ignoring the courts, right? We have three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. Judicial is supposed to really be the guardrails. That's supposed to be the ones, and when the executive branch messes up, when the legislative branch messes up, the judicial branch is supposed to come in and really interpret the law and tell you what needs to happen. So we now have a president who is not following the law, even when he is told before the planes take off, when they are midair, turn around and bring the flights back. Don't take off. He's doing what he wants to do. I say all of this to say that people are actually waiting for someone who has a history of being a liar, right? I mean, they can count his lies. That's how much he lies. Who has reneged on so much stuff with other people, contractors, who's been sued hundreds of times for failure to pay or to keep his word. When you fail to pay someone for services that were rendered, that is called not keeping your word, right? That's a lack of integrity. This is someone who in their first term did the same thing. Did the same thing. But for some reason you thought, because you were white, that you were going to be safe. This is a person who does not care about you and has shown that they don't care about anybody else other than themselves, not even their children, that they'll throw their own children under the bus to survive. Okay? So this whole idea, like, I didn't think it would happen to me, but you were okay with it happening to other people, means that you actually have a lack of integrity. So instead of looking for empathy or sympathy or, oh my gosh, please help me, I didn't know he was going to gut veteran affairs. Why didn't you know that? I mean, he said it. He brought in a veteran as his vice president so that it can look like he's pro-veteran, while you wouldn't notice him gutting veteran affairs and getting rid of all of your benefits, including Social Security, which they claim you haven't earned, including the veteran sitting next to him as the vice president, saying you don't need them. You didn't earn them. Okay? So I just wanted to say today, sometimes you need to know all of the information you have in front of you is all of the information you have in front of you. And you should stop trying to make, and this goes for anything. It's not just this 47. It goes for relationships. When someone is showing you who they are, believe them. I know the great Maya Angelou said that, but it is true. When someone has shown you who they are, believe them. There was nothing that 47 did when he was 45 in his first presidency that he is not doing now. The only thing is that because he had been president before, now he has a shorter runway, which means he's just hitting the ground running because he knows how things work and how to get around them now. So he doesn't plan to pay you your benefits. This is a man who doesn't pay contractors. He's not paying you your benefits. He doesn't even know why you have benefits. He doesn't think you should have Social Security. We should be able to take care of ourselves. They needed that during the Depression. People don't need that now. The government needs that money. As if it's not our money. As if we haven't been paying into it through our hard work all these years. All right. So sometimes all you need to know is what's in front of you. And you had the information and you made a miscalculation because you didn't care about other people, right? You don't care if he's deporting immigrants that you don't like. Even in the Latinx community, you may be Cuban, but you don't care that they're deporting Venezuelans, right? And now they're coming for Cubans and you're like, but wait, we got Rubio in the house. Rubio's our person. Rubio can't stop Trump. And if he can, he's not, because he's after the power. He has the power now. He's in the circle. And even though his face shows like, oh my God, what have I done? Every time there's a press conference, he's not going to go against it because he'd have to admit that he made a bad decision repeatedly. So you have made a bad decision repeatedly, and you are now suffering for it. And even though I do typically have empathy, I have to say, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry that your spouse is gone, that is deported. I'm sorry that you all had jobs, 3 months ago, and now you don't have jobs, and now you're competing with literally tens of thousands of people in a sluggish job market. I'm sorry we're heading into a recession and everybody's going to be cash poor because they don't have jobs, right? So you're going to have to live off your credit cards if you have them, and you're going to pay ridiculous rates because we're going into a recession. I'm sorry that you didn't understand that the economy was terrible under this person before. So it's going to be terrible again. So this is what happens when you don't pay attention to what's in front of you, when you don't look at what people have shown you before. So I just want you all to understand, when people show you who they are, business, politics, relationships, friendships, believe them. And then don't cry about it when 10 million people told you, listen, we're trying to tell you. We read the documents, as Tom Cruise says. I read the papers, Matt. We read the documents. We saw what happened. We've read the analyses. We lived it. Don't do it. And you do it anyway, then you need to know that we don't give a damn. All right, so tune in next week for another Need to Know with Dr. Nsenga Burton. And of course, make sure that you listen to a Black Executive Perspective podcast, the award-winning A Black Executive Perspective podcast next week as well, with Tony and Chris, who are doing amazing work in the podcast field. All right, so have a wonderful day. And remember, when people show you who they are, believe them.
A Black Executive Perspective.